Okay, so I just wanted to let everyone know that breakfast is ready in the room behind us.
Good morning, everybody. Just want to let you know that breakfast is ready in the adjacent room to your right. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you. Have you seen Mike Headsmith anywhere? Yes, I need to make sure this mic is working.
morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, we're going to do that again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. It's an exciting day this morning. I'm Mark Jarrell, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. I'm going to call the meeting to order, number one. And before we get into remarks, if we will all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everyone. The energy in here is amazing. It is great to see everyone this morning. Without further ado, the person that's going to come up and keep the energy going is the chair of the Board of Education, Stephanie Sneed.
Good morning. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the chair of the most important elected body in the county. I heard some grumblings. I don't know why. But I do represent District 4, which is the east side of Charlotte. I first wanted to recognize my fellow board members that are here. If you can stand up, because I can't see where y'all at. Okay, so first up I see Shemai Haynes, District 2. Board member at large, Liz Monterey Duval. Representing District 6, Anna London. Representing District 5, Cynthia Stone. And board member at large, Lenore, and our most senior board member, Lenore Ship. Oh, shoot, sorry. Charlita Hatch, board member and representing District 1, Dr. Hatch. So just really quickly, thank you for being here today. And I want to have a special shout out to board member Anna London and our staff member Charles Jeter for taking the challenge when I asked them when we were planning our legislative breakfast to get all three bodies together. I believe I asked, this is the first time this has happened at least in 20 years. And I do want to take a point of personal privilege before we get into the business of today. If I can get board chair Mark Jarrell to stand, as well as Mayor Pro Tem Smudgy Mitchell to stand. So I do want to acknowledge that it was, as I was driving here this morning, I realized this was significant. And it's significant in a way because if it had not been for a chance encounter that I met Councilman Mitchell in a restaurant, who then introduced me to Mark Jarrell back in 2016, that I would not be standing here today. And all of this, and when you talk about the chain and links and spokes of things, that this would not be happening, and all three of us being here today in leadership roles for our respective bodies. So I thought it was important for us today to have a joint legislative breakfast because it is not about one board, it's not about one council, it's not about one commission. We each represent, I know our budgets are about $12 billion collectively. We have, and then we also have Board of Education, the school system has 19,000 employees. I believe the city has about 5, and the county has about 6 million employees. So collectively, we are the engine, the economic engine, the education engine, the social services engine, the health services engine for the state of North Carolina. And the challenges to us do not belong to us individually. So today is an opportunity for us to forge a new era in talking about our needs for our communities collectively. And I'm looking forward to further conversations like this, and I'm putting this in the atmosphere. so we can work on joint issues, is that, at some point we have our joint budget retreat, that we are talking about things collectively when we're aligning our budgets for the region. So with that, I will turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem Smudgy Mitchell.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for everyone being here, and for my chair of CMS. Thank you for your vision to make sure this could be a reality this morning. So before I get into my remarks, I want to introduce you to the Dream Team who are here representing Charlotte City Council. So all council members, please stand, introduce yourselves and what area district you represent. All my council members, please stand at this time. Okay. We're going to start with the beautiful young lady in the far left here.
Good morning, everyone. LaWanda Mayfield. I have the pleasure of serving you on City Council at large.
Again, I'm Kimberly Owens. I represent District 6.
I'm former North Carolina State Senator and Charlotte City Council member Malcolm Graham, representing District 2, Chairman of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee.
I'm JD Masueta Arias, proudly representing the East Side District 5.
Hey everybody, Ed Driggs. I represent District 7 and I chair the Transportation Planning and Development Committee.
And one special recognition, because you all know as elected bodies and public servant, nothing happens unless we have a good staff who works hard to make us look good. Well, all members of the City of Charlotte staff at this time, please stand. I don't want to call you out. We appreciate this opportunity to come together in a coordinated way, especially for the first time in this joint format, to discuss our shared priorities. It's not often we get this many elected officials in one room at the same time without a vote on the agenda at the end. Can the church say amen?
Amen.
As elected bodies, we each have our own legislative agendas. But at the core of them all is a shared commitment to make our communities safer, supporting the people who we serve, who call Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and CMS home. And we continue to grow this regional economy every time we get reelected. Public safety continues to be one of our most important shared priorities. And we talk more about that shortly as a part of today's panel's discussion. Across our communities, we are focused on strengthening the full continuum of safety, from prevention, behavioral health responses, to law enforcement staffing, to ensuring our courts and justice system have the capacity they need to operate effectively. I also want to recognize the leadership of Councilman Malcolm Graham and his committee in shaping this year's legislative agenda and highlighting strong areas of alignment across our partner organization. We're grateful for your continued partnership and engagement on these issues. We look forward to working together through this legislative session. Thank you once again for your time, your leadership, and especially we appreciate you spending time in this building in room 267 as you head back and represent us in Raleigh. It is now indeed a personal honor to introduce not only a leader in our community, but a dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome our County Commissioner Chair, Mr. Mark Jarrell.
Well, good morning again, everyone. It's really an honor for us to be here. Councilman Mitchell said that he refers to his colleagues as the Dream Team. And I don't doubt that. But I refer to our board as the People's Board. And everybody that's a part of the People's Board, I'm going to ask you to stand up, those that are willing to. We're going to allow them to introduce themselves. We will start with our Chair Emeritus, and also have to say this every time I get a chance, the incoming president of our National Association, Commissioner George Dunlap.
Good morning. My name is Arthur Griffin. I have the pleasure of serving County Commissioner at Large, and I also chair the county's Health and Human Services Committee.
Good morning. I'm Laura Meyer. I represent District 5.
Go ahead, Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell. We're going to come to Commissioner League last.
I'm Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell, elected by the people of District 6.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mecklenburg County Commissioner Elaine Powell, representing Huntersville, Johnson, Cornelius, and North Charlotte, and Chair of the Environmental Stewardship Committee.
I have our Vice Chair, go ahead. Okay.
Please go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Commissioner Yvette Townsend Ingram. I go by Commissioner YTI, and I represent you at large on the Board of County Commissioners.
Good morning. My name is Lee Altman. I serve at large and also have the privilege of serving as Vice Chair.
Now the matriarch of the board.
Are you speaking to me?
I am.
My name is Vilma D. Link, and I represent the most powerful people in this county, and that's District 2. God bless you. Glad you're here. And I am an old soldier out here fighting for the people, and especially senior citizens. All of us are senior citizens, if you live long enough.
Thank you, colleagues. I'd also be remiss if I did not recognize our county manager, Mr. Michael Bryant, who is here, and his executive team. Would all county staff please stand to be recognized, because we know that you all do the heavy lifting. We cannot do this work without you, so thank you. So thank you for that, everyone. Again, I'm Mark Jarrell. I represent District 4. I have the honor of serving as chairman of this board. I'd like to just thank you all for taking the time to come out today. We know that it is really important for us to be here. Your presence speaks volumes around and why we do this work. And it's the importance of this work, along with our shared sense of duty and responsibility that we have to our residents, is exactly why we are here today. So today's meeting, just so you know, and so that we can level set, is actually designed to achieve three main objectives. First, we need to bring greater context and awareness to our legislative priorities. Second, we need to outline and streamline our requests to our General Assembly partners. Third, we need to strengthen our legislative efforts by discussing some key legislative impacts that we know are on the horizon. And as we're all aware, the stakes are incredibly high, particularly for local governments, especially given the fact that revenue growth is not keeping up with the increased demand for services. It goes without saying that our community is in dire need of greater support from our legislative partners, not our delegation, because you all are doing an amazing job, and thank you, but from our legislative partners across the board. As many of you know, our organization is currently investing over $400 million to fill the gap that's been created by funding shortfalls from the General Assembly. And so for as long as this work remains interdependent, the need for us to convene in this manner, as Chair Snead referenced, will continue to persist. So I look forward to the discussions this morning, and I will now pass it on to the chair of our delegation, Senator Joyce Waddell. Thank you, everyone.
We have, hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity. It's great to be here. I think we have 5 of our members who are present here today. Could you stand and come with me? Stand with me.
Yes.
This is our delegation. We are here today, and we are always together. This is an important moment, important meeting in time. I've heard just mentioned that it had been 20 years since these legislative bodies have been together. We can't let another 20 years pass. We're continuing as a delegation to hold meetings throughout the county. So we are doing more than we need to be doing when we're not in Raleigh. You know, they pay us $15,000 a year. We don't have a budget. We travel. We're busy, on call, a moment's notice. Our suitcases are packed. We can be called back at any time. So we stay ready. This joint meeting today is a wonderful opportunity. And as I heard mentioned earlier, we are together as legislative bodies. That's how we do our work together. I heard also mentioned that we as a delegation are working hard and we're doing our part, all of us. What we have to do is continue to work with those who are there to make what we're doing a reality. What's been most important to us, you have representatives, the city, you have a representative, the county, and the school board. Jeter was once a legislator. And when things come up, we always ask you, what is your opinion on it? How would you want us to address this? And many times, just before the meeting, sometimes we don't know it's coming on the agenda. I'll say to Jeter, give me some talking points and have them to me in 10 minutes. He then knows that he has to do that. One of the things that happens when things come into committee, and what's very important to us, which helps us so much, is when people show up from the community, when they yell, when they let them know, because the first thing they look at us and say, what does your community want? And then when we talk to those persons who represent you, that's what we say. What does the city say about this? What does the county say about this? And we will continue to do that. Now, this meeting allows us to talk about some things that are important. And we want to say all of the time, as legislative bodies, we are together, the city, the county, the state. We work on issues together because we represent North Carolina, we represent Mecklenburg County, and we represent the city of Charlotte. And if I must say it, they look at us in Raleigh as being powerful. They look at us as being rich. They look at us as a group of citizens, of voters, without needs, but we do have needs. We trust you and what you tell us to do, and that's how we work. We have sessions called the long session and the short session. And now we're in what you call, we're coming back, you know, we don't go back until the 21st of April. We'll go back to the short session. In the short session, we'll be looking at some of the things that did not happen or carry over. And it's very specified as what can come about in the short session. It's not like the long session. So as we look at our agenda today, much of that will come about in the long session. And much of it will be continuing to happen because it's already been introduced in the General Assembly. We depend upon our committees, and each of us serve on various committees, not all of us on the same one. Each speaking out with Mecklenburg County and the city of Charlotte at our heart and soul. And we believe in being together is how we make things happen. With that, I'm going to start with our legislators. What they're going to tell you is the major committees they serve on and where they represent. My name is Joyce Waddell. I'm a former school board member. I served on the school board for 6 years. And one of the reasons I was elected for a 4-year term, in the middle of my second 4-year term, I left to go to Raleigh because we were going back and forth with our superintendent so much, speaking in Raleigh. So they say, well, what better way to serve than to be there at the table where the decisions are being made, where you can help make the decisions. So I ran, and I'm still here after 6 terms, 12 years. Happy to serve and to do whatever I can as we work together to make things happen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Representative Julia Greenfield, and I am serving in my first term in the North Carolina General Assembly, representing House District 100. I serve on the Environment and Agriculture Committee, the Appropriations for Transportation, and K through 12 Education. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is DeAndrea Salvador, serving in my 3rd term for Senate District 39, which is Southwest Mecklenburg County. You want me to go? Yeah. Which is Southwest. As far as committees, I serve on our Rules Committee, Commerce and Insurance, Finance, now Transportation, Agriculture, Environment, and a few other joint committees. Additionally, I serve as the Deputy Leader of Policy for our Senate Democratic Caucus. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Mary Belkin. I'm in my 5th term. I represent District 88, which is a wedge between South Boulevard and Park Road and going all the way down. I am serving on the transportation appropriation, what we call the big appropriations. I have just this year have started serving on the Elections Board Committee, and I serve on the regulatory reform, which I truly love. So thank you for this. I appreciate it.
Peace, everyone. Nasif Majid. I serve House District 99, which is the University area, Hidden Valley, Back Creek. This is my 4th term, and I am currently serving on Appropriations, Agriculture Committee, Insurance Committee, and Appropriations General Government. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jordan Lopez. I proudly represent House District 112 in the East Charlotte area. I serve on the House Transportation Committee, the House Finance Committee, and the House Housing and Development Committee, and I'm also Governor Stein's appointee to the Interagency Council on Coordinating Homeless Programs. It's a mouthful. Thankful to be here and good to see everybody.
Good morning, everyone. I am Representative Becky Carney. I've had the distinct privilege of serving House District 102 for 12 terms. Count that up, 24 years. And for that, I served at large on the County Commission for 6 years. I serve on numerous committees, but the 3 that really stand out to me today to let you know of, you can look up the others, but is Finance, Budget, Transportation, 77, and Congestion, and Higher Ed, Education. And the most important committee that's meeting tomorrow in Raleigh, which I serve on, that we hope you all are aware of, is the House Property Tax Study Commission. And there are a lot of issues that are coming out of that committee tomorrow that I appreciate all of the county, the city, and the school board for connecting with us on the committee. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. Beth Helfrich, proudly serving District 98, which is the north end of the county, so Davidson, Cornelius, and most of Huntersville. In the State House, I'm in my first term, serve on appropriations, transportation, higher education, and military and veterans affairs. Thanks for having me here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brandon Lofton. It's my honor to serve you in the North Carolina House District 104, which is in the south side of Charlotte. And I serve on finance, K-12 education, the Joint Legislative Oversight Committee for Public Safety, Agriculture, Commerce, and Judiciary, and also serve as the legislative chair for the Democratic Caucus.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Mujtaba Mohammed. I serve the people of Mecklenburg County's 38th Senate District. I serve on judiciary, transportation, healthcare, elections and redistricting, justice and public safety oversight, a whole host of other committees that don't come to mind right now. But I want to just thank the wonderful city, county, and school staff for everything you do every single day in the trenches. I want to thank our elected public servants for their dedication and service. And most importantly, on behalf of the North Carolina General Assembly, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm deeply sorry that each and every single day that you have to step up and fill the gaps for what the North Carolina General Assembly should be doing. So thank you to our elected leaders, and thank you to our public servants in this room.
Okay, you've heard and you see the members of the delegation, strong leadership, strong commitment. And I want to tell you also that all of our meetings are streamlined, and each of us sends out newsletters with that information on it. So you don't always have to go to Raleigh to see what's happening. Go to the website, and they will tell you when these meetings are taking place. You can hear the discussion. You can text information to make it real. We're always with you. We're always together. So thank you, and thank you for all that you do. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.
We are now going to start our panelists. Chair London is going to come. If you're on the first panel, please go ahead and join us and grab a seat. I will, as Ms. London walks up here, I will tell the members we're going to give a quick presentation about, we have 3 panels. The first one will be on the budget and the property tax that Representative Carney spoke so eloquently about. I will remind you that if you are a legislator, we welcome your questions. Once we get into this a little bit and have that, we would welcome any question you have regarding that topic to the panel. After each panel, the legislators will have an opportunity to ask questions at the end of each panel so we can have that dialogue back and forth. So please don't be shy. With that, I will turn it over to our our committee chair. I don't want to promote her, Anna London. Ms. London?
Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. It is so exciting to see everyone here. Before I really get started with my remarks, I do want to acknowledge that our superintendent, Dr. Crystal Hill, is here now. So if you will just stand so everyone can acknowledge and recognize you. Thank you. All right, so good morning again. I'm Anna London, and as was mentioned, I represent District 6 on the Board of Education, and I have the honor to serve as the chair of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee of the Board of Education, and I am on that committee alongside Dr. Charlita Hatch, Liz Monterey Duvall, board member Duvall, who just walked out, I believe, as well as board member Lenora Shipp. And I am grateful that we have already had our first joint Intergovernmental Relations Committee meeting with the Board of County Commissioners. And so I feel like after that and with this, we are making great progress already. And so I am excited to announce and introduce our first panel and our moderator. So our moderator will be Charles Jeter, who is the Intergovernmental Relations Committee, who is the Executive Director of the Intergovernmental Relations for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. We have Adrienne Cox, who is the Budget Director for Mecklenburg County. We have David Boyd, who is Chief Financial Officer for Mecklenburg County. And then we also have Kelly Klutz, the Chief Financial Officer for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. And I will turn it over to you all.
Thank you, Ms. London. As she said, my name is Charles Jeter. I'm the Executive Director of Intergovernmental Affairs for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education. Our first panel here is a panel on the budget and the property tax issues. And so you all have a one-pager in your what I call leave behinds, but I hope you don't leave behind. I actually hope you take it with you. And it kind of gives you an idea of a summary, but we're going to let our panelists have this conversation. Obviously, the state operates on a perpetual budget, but they have not modified a comprehensive budget since 2024, which is a long time to go without teacher pay increases, without all the other resources that the county and city need. And I think, you know, I was talking to a really smart gentleman about 30 minutes ago, and he said the biggest problem is the uncertainty. And so with that, I would ask the panelists, not having a budget, or not having a modified budget, because we do technically have a budget, how do you deal with the uncertainty? How do you deal with the planning as we look forward to this fiscal year? We have a situation where 25-26 fiscal year will be over shortly. We have no idea if the General Assembly is going to go back and try to pass a 25-26 fiscal year budget. I'm not optimistic. And then are we going to move forward to a 26-27 budget, and what would that need to do in order to satisfy the needs of this community? So I yield to the panelists if anybody wants to go and start talking about it. I would ask you to state your name because these lovely ladies are asking me to tell you that.
All right. So my name is Adrienne Cox. I guess to answer your question, Charles, I would say the uncertainty extends beyond just not having a state budget. It's beyond just that. Of course, for the county, we are funding a lot of responsibilities that the state has given us, and we are also providing funds for partners like the courts, like CMS, and not knowing how they are going to be paid impacts how we develop our budget. But it goes beyond just the annual budget. There's still uncertainty about Medicaid, what the future of that is, and that impacts lots and lots of the things that we do in the space of health and human services and the other services that we provide. And the biggest area of uncertainty, I think, is what we're talking about here with the property tax cap. That poses a significant concern because, of course, 65% of our budget comes from property taxes. And so those revenues are used to pay for all of the different things that we do here in the county, anything from teacher pay to paramedics to health and human services, and not knowing what the status of that is going to be poses a lot of concern.
I'm David Boyd. I'm the county CFO. I think I'd add to that local governments have very, very limited flexibility around our revenue streams. And yet we've got the plan to pay for all of the things that Adrienne identified. And if we don't know what other resources are coming from the state, and we have limited flexibility around how we can generate revenues, it's like the perfect storm. So if we do have any type of limitations on the single revenue stream that local elected officials actually have control over, that completely exacerbates the situation that Adrienne just described. But I think it's probably most important, you know, as it relates to the school district, because they get much of their revenue directly from the state.
Yeah, so thank you. Kelly Klutz, Chief Financial Officer for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. I just want to start with talking about that word uncertainty, because that's the first word that came to my mind when he asked me the question. It's not just a little bit of uncertainty. It's uncertainty for 365 days a year, right? So in my career of about 28 years, this has been, well, with the exception of the year that there was no budget whatsoever, we were still anticipating a budget even months ago, right? So there's a constant anxiety around what these decisions will do to us and what they will not do to us. As he mentioned, funding sources are various, right? So when the state approves a budget, the state gives us money to support our employees for the salaries. And so knowing that 78% of our budget, we are a people business. So 78% of our budget is people, so salaries and benefits. So any decision that's made at the General Assembly affects 78% of my budget automatically. And when we get that wrong in an estimate, that matters. That matters to our local ability to continue. And the county has already set their budget. They've already set their tax rate. They do not have the ability to go back and change that. So they do not have the ability to help us. So we have to postpone decisions about everything that we're doing, and we're creating more instability for the people that we serve. And we know that stability is good for kids. That's the right thing, right? Student outcomes are affected by stability. When teachers don't know whether they're getting raises, when we can't put resources in schools, and we are constantly having to juggle whether a decision is going to be made. I can't tell you how many times this year I've said, when we get a budget, we're going to get a budget. We're going to make that decision, right? And so we have to protect ourselves financially from being in a situation that we can't control, right? We don't want to be in a situation where we have to lay off people in the middle of the year. So if we projected an increase of 3% in our budget and it's funded for that, and it comes in at 4%, we have to find those additional dollars for local and federal. We budget everything that we have, right? Because we are expected, the funding model is that we spend all of our dollars on the students that are in the classroom that year. Our funding model does not provide an ability for us to have a savings account or fund balance. So we are very limited in how we can react. And so one of the most important things that I would say that I would ask you to leave here today is that a decision always is better than no decision. Even if it's a bad decision or not a decision that we like, it's a decision and it's better. Consistent pay raises, small consistent pay raises are better than high, low, and uncertainty about how we are doing business.
Thank you all. I will say that it's Board Chair Stephanie Sneed. Many of us were at the Charlotte Regional Alliance last Thursday. Speaker Hall came and spoke. And Stephanie Sneed, our board chair, stood up and asked him a question, what about teacher pay? And as you may have read in the press, it was widely said, he said we could become the #1 in teacher pay in the Southeast. We take Speaker Hall at his word, but we need those actions. And, we talk about teacher pay, we talk about these things, and as Mr. Cox and Mr. Boyd said, if they don't provide it, then the pressure lies on the county, unfairly so. Commissioner Jarrell pointed out that I think it was $400 million, whatever that number he said, that they're using in county funds to pay for state services. And that's a significant problem. And so as we get here, South Carolina is passing a bill. They've introduced it yesterday in their General Assembly to raise their starting pay to $51,500. For those of us who are in border counties, we will lose people to South Carolina. And it is a real problem. And so I would hope that y'all look at that as you go back. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I also know, as we all do, and I'll say it because I've never stopped saying stupid stuff before. I'm not going to start today. We don't know what the Senate's going to be like this short session. I'll let y'all interpret that how you will. And so I do think there could be some fruitful opportunities to do some things, but having a budget is critical, and I would encourage us. Teachers haven't gone with a raise for over a year. These are people that, as you will see in your handout, Dr. Hill and her staff and Kelly Klutz have done a brilliant job of talking about what it costs to live in our communities. And as you will see, we put a graph in there so you can see it. Our teachers can't afford to live in the community that we're asking them to serve. And we should all be embarrassed by that. Now, I will say, going to the other part that Mr. Cox said, which is we're going to transfer to the second part of this, and Representative Carney mentioned this. Late December, November, Speaker Hall created a House Select Committee on property tax reform and, what do you say, reform and reduction or something like that. Last month, they presented 4 draft bills. One of those draft bills would limit what the city and county could do as far as their tax rate. Keep in mind, for those of you who don't know, North Carolina already has a tax cap. You cannot have your tax rate above $1.50 per hundred. So the idea that there's not a limit in place is not true. There is. To put that in perspective, Mecklenburg County, and I don't know what the city's tax rate is. I can tell you Huntersville's, but I don't know Charlotte's.
4.5 cents.
4.5 cents? 24.5 cents is the city of Charlotte. Mecklenburg County, I believe, is 49 cents and change. 49.27. Less than a third of what the cap is. So the idea that somehow these communities are abusing or overspending is just not factually true. And I think these communities, the city and county, deserve a heck of a lot more credit for what they try to do, putting, frankly, 5 pounds of issues in a 3-pound bag that the General Assembly allows us to do with tax rates. But make no mistake, when this committee meets tomorrow and we see these new drafted bills that I'm sure they're going to modify, and there are 4 of them, the one we like concerns us the most, obviously, is the levy limit on property taxes. It could change the way we have to do business in a dramatic fashion that will be almost impossible to undo in the future. It is critically important. And frankly, I'm not really talking to y'all in the circle chairs. I'm talking to the people there in the cameras. If this happens, it'll almost be impossible to undo, and it will have a detrimental impact on every child in this community, every resident of this community, and every service that this community provides. I can't undersell this enough. This is the most detrimental policy I've seen in education since we approved the vouchers and eliminated the cap. So with that being said, I'll get off my soapbox. How big of a concern is this for y'all? Am I overselling, underselling this? If they put a levy limit on the property tax, which means, put this in an example, what they're considering, at least verbally, we haven't seen the numbers yet, is a limit on property tax increase based off population growth, inflation, and then, frankly, they did not have it originally, but we've added it in, debt service cost. They've estimated that to be about 3%, which means Mecklenburg County could only raise their tax rate by 1.5 cents. If I'm not correct, Mr. Boyd, at one point, Mecklenburg County has a plan of a 2-cent tax increase because the voters just approved a huge bond for education. Not a fly-in-the-night plan, but a voter-approved bond that requires tax increases, and they knew that. We shouldn't be punished as a community for doing the right thing. So I'll let y'all talk about the property tax concerns.
So I think we've spoken to it a little bit already, that the reason why property tax are even at the level they are now is because of all the costs that local governments have to incur. And it's not the same in every county across the state. And a one-size-fits-all solution doesn't make sense considering the needs of every jurisdiction across the state. So that's fundamentally problematic. The other issue, well, there's a number of them, but another one too is with the constitutional amendment in particular. There is no specificity as to how that would be implemented. And there are a huge number of complexities in how property taxes affect different people in different areas. Higher income places have different types of issues than lower income places. Lower income residents have different issues than higher income residents. I mean, we already, if the concern is the little old lady whose property taxes skyrocketed, levy limits won't help that person. What we need then is some type of targeted tax relief, because we understand, and I think we could all collectively agree, that there is a concern about individuals being disproportionately affected by a tax increase because of the rate or the valuation of their property over which they have no control. We already have some tax relief provisions in the statutes, but they're not effective because the income limits haven't been changed. $38,000 is the income limit for either the circuit breaker or any of the homestead exemptions. if we're concerned about unique individuals, then that's where the focus should be, as opposed to a one-size-fits-all limit on the tax levy, which is going to create problems across jurisdictions in different ways. We have a concern from a credit perspective. You know, bond rating agencies like the fact that we have local control over what our tax rate is. Would that necessarily mean we're all going to get downgrades? Maybe not, but it's definitely going to be credit negative. But we don't know, because we don't know how that might be implemented. And forcing that into the Constitution is problematic. It can be dealt with legislatively as long as the right people are at the table to help inform those decisions and how that might happen, to understand how it might affect different folks and different jurisdictions differently. And I'll let Adrian add his comments.
Yeah, thank you. Just to build on what David said about a one size does not fit all. I think it's really important for everyone working with property tax to understand that when there's new construction within a county, there is some growth in the tax base, but that also means there are more people to serve. So aside from any other changes, property tax alone does not account for inflation. And of course, the cost of living is going to be different in different counties. And so I think that's an important factor to bear in mind, because if we have some type of cap in place, we may not be in a position to be able to support those services that we have, because the people who provide those services also need to live in this county.
Kelly, anything?
I would just add that the county support and the funding model, associated with schools is that the county helps us supplement. That's a large expense that they help us with, and it's directly related to the local environment, right? The cost of living that it takes to live in Charlotte, Mecklenburg versus another county. So I would just advocate that what they're saying about inconsistency and one size fits all really matters. We are more competitive in our supplement thanks to the work of the county commissioners, and very appreciative. And if we were capped and they weren't able to support us in that way, our recruitment and retention would suffer significantly.
And I think the other concern about, you know, limiting local revenue options, and I mentioned before, property tax is really the only one we have that local elected officials can control, is if the state is going to continue to push costs down to local governments, it can't come without some type of revenue to support it. If they're going to underfund the responsibilities that the state needs to deal with, how is it that we're supposed to pay for those things? If there is a belief that there is overspending and bloated budgets at the local level, well, help us limit what those costs are and fund them as they should be at the state level, and then we won't have to be concerned about raising a property tax rate. But again, one size fits all, embedding it in the Constitution, and not dealing with the targeted relief that's needed by those specific property owners that are you know, truly impacted, is not the way to manage this issue. And let's understand exactly what's the problem we're trying to solve, and all the complexities that goes around with the different ways that you might be able to approach it and deal with those things thoughtfully and not bluntly.
We're going to open this up for questions from legislators. If a legislator has a question, there's a mic. Raise your hand. Anyone? Or else I'll just keep talking. Commissioner Leek, do you have a question? Please state your name for the... She's got.
I was sitting here listening. I was reminisce when I was in high school. Parents paid for everything, books, book fee, and then the state began to take on the responsibilities of those items, and parents were no longer involved in that process. I support public education, and the reason I support public education We are all public citizens of this community. But expectation has to be high. And I'm not going to criticize that today. I hope that those of you who are in Raleigh and say you're Democrats live up to what you say you are and fight for us in Raleigh as if you've never fought before. Whether you've birthed a child or not, we are responsible for those children. And the county picks up the responsibility of the school system. I remember when the clerks dispensed medicine to children in school. But now you have to have a nurse in school. So the requirements have increased as to what expectations are. We don't respect education as we once did, nor do we respect teachers, because sometimes they don't look like teachers. When I was in school, men wore shirts and ties and suits. And when integration came, it changed. We came looking any kind of way. Many of us looked like we were going to church because we wanted to impress the children to be a part of who we are. So I'm saying to us, we're not criticizing Raleigh. We're asking you to fight for the people who cannot fight for themselves. Public education is what it says it is. If we cannot tax the people appropriately, and when we give bags out at beginning of school year, they shouldn't go to parents, because parents get them and sell them. We know that. They should be dispensed in the schools so the teachers can make sure that every child gets a bag. So all I'm saying to us, we say we're Democrats, but sometimes I wonder, because of the fight that we do not do, with the kind of leadership we have in Washington, it's trickling down to us. So how do we address these issues from the national level that's impacting us on the local level? How do we do that? And especially for my senior citizens. Everybody in here criticize people for being old. On the school board, the county, and city council. Don't tell them your age, tell them you're 25 and stay right there. So all I'm saying to us is we must make sure that we elect the right people and not people who are going to change because of a relationship. I look at the county commissioners across the state. Most of them are Republicans. In Raleigh are farmers. So how do we address the needs of our people here versus those people who are out on the farm? So I guess I'll stop right there. What do we do to impact the quality of the people who represent us in the classroom? Am I right, madam? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee. Representative Lopez, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Going back to the property tax conversation, I was last year. I can't. Okay. Last year there was a bill that was filed that would have essentially the homestead. Going back to the homestead conversation and how there's that statewide income cap, it would have allowed for counties to essentially set their ceiling based on the AMI of that county. That bill stalled for. It could have stalled for a number of reasons, but it didn't move. I know that attorneys in bill drafting had concerns about the constitutionality of it because of, I believe it's called the uniformity clause in the state constitution that requires the mechanism every county levies taxes to be uniform. The bill was still filed regardless. Again, it stalled, but I believe there's something there worth having a conversation about. Is that something that the county would be supportive of? I don't remember, at least it was a year ago, so forgive me. I don't remember if you guys took a position on this particular bill. I can't even remember the number, but would that type of policy direction be something the county would support?
So without speaking on a specific bill or on behalf of the board, I do know that the county has voiced support of changes to those homestead exemptions because they are too low, particularly in Mecklenburg County. We're talking about $38,000 income to qualify. And so that is something that would be a more targeted approach than doing something broadly. Also, I do want to say, just to reemphasize what David mentioned, there are some aspects of looking at property tax which are important. They could have positive outcomes. Looking at some of the exemptions that have been talked about, that may be a useful exercise, but just the broad cap on a levy is more of a concern.
The process may also help shine a brighter light on what we were talking about with just all of the funding needs of local governments and the limited flexibility that we have. So the conversation could be positive if it's looked at as something other than just a way to limit taxes.
Representative Nazif Majid, sorry, I apologize.
Yes, sir. My question is, how do you feel about 100% tax exemption for 100% disabled veterans tax exemption?
So we haven't really discussed just 100% disabled veterans exemptions. What I would limit my response to is just having a more targeted focus, particularly on those income levels, to make sure that they're more reasonable, and looking at other approaches that may be targeted to folks who are likely to have an unintended negative impact from property taxes.
I know that we've got 2 more panels, so I know we've got a lot going on, and I know everybody's happy to answer the questions. So we have one more question from the legislator, and then we're going to move on to the next panel, if that's okay. So Senator Mohammed, the last question is to you.
Thank you, Charles. So I know there's a lot of D.C. politicians and legislators out of Raleigh who've falsely accused our city and county of not doing enough for public safety over the years, which is not true. Like you mentioned, Charles, earlier, I know that people in this room know the facts, but for the media in the back, can you please elaborate and tell us what is the city and the county already doing when it comes to public safety, and the impact that it will have on law enforcement, on our county jails? As a member of our courts previously in Mecklenburg County, I know you all supplement many positions in the clerk's office, in the district attorney's office, in the public defender's office. So can you speak about that impact if this were to pass?
Mr. Cox, I'm gonna stop you, because that is a brilliant segue that I'll tip you for later, because our next panel is on public safety with the city and county. So with that, thank you to our first panelist. I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Hazel from the city, and she will get into the second panel.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sarah Hazel, Chief of Staff for the City of Charlotte. I'd like to invite the safety panel to come up. Deputy City Manager Sean Heath will be moderating this panel. Before I do that, I just wanted to say what an honor it is to be a part of this joint session and to work with our City Council on our legislative agenda. I did want to draw your attention to the one-pager that you have, which is in your folder, and that outlines the city's key agenda items. We're not going to get to dive into all of those items today. We're going to focus on community safety and the alignment we have here with our partners. If you'd like the long version, we have some of those out on the desk for some good nighttime reading to get into a little more depth. But with that, I actually just wanted to hand this over to our chair of the Intergovernmental Committee, Mr. Graham, to talk a little bit about this panel and really tee up the conversation. So without further ado, I will invite up Malcolm Graham.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed an honor as well as a privilege for me to be here this morning. Special recognition to the chairwoman of the Mecklenburg delegation, Senator Waddell, and members of the delegation. As many of you know, I had the honor and the privilege of serving for 10 years in the North Carolina State Senate. So I clearly understand and know having a suitcase by the bed and buying brand new tires every 6 months, traveling back and forth. So thank you for your leadership and your commitment to public service recognizing Charlotte Mecklenburg. One of the things I've said time and time again is that safety is truly a team sport. No single agency, no single level of government can address today's public safety challenges alone. It takes coordination across law enforcement, the courts, behavioral health providers, schools, transportation partners, and community organizations. It also requires strong partnership from state government, and it means engaging our business community just as we've done in the past with transportation, as we work to improve safety in every corner of Charlotte Mecklenburg. What's encouraging to me is the genuine support and desire for alignment among all the local partners around strategies that strengthen the full safety continuum, from prevention and early intervention to building law enforcement capacity throughout the county. Today's conversation is an opportunity to highlight that shared approach and to identify where continued collaboration with the General Assembly, Senator Mohammed, can make the greatest impact. I want to briefly highlight a few priorities that emerged as critical during our committee's discussion this year. Additional state funding for mental health support, state support for law enforcement recruitment and retention, increased funding to expand staffing at the District Attorney's Office, Public Defender's Office, and the courts. And lastly, and probably more importantly, efforts to open a juvenile detention center here in Mecklenburg County. All those items are extremely important. Senator Mohammed, you're absolutely right. This community, every city council member, every county commissioner, every school board member understands and know that public safety is all of our responsibility. And no one knows more than me, who have lost a sister to murder, that sometimes bad things happen to good people. It doesn't mean that it's anyone's fault, nor there's not priorities that we've not put in place. This council, this commission, the school board recognize that our job, among all the things that we do, is to ensure that every student, every senior, every resident is safe. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sean to start our discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Graham. How about if we start off with quick introductions? Is that okay? Let's start at the end and work our way this way.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Chief Jackie Brawley. Oversee all patrol operations for Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department.
Good morning, Deputy Chief Zaru Chicory, and I oversee recruitment, training, Office of Employee Wellness, and our community engagement.
And I'm Sonia Harper. I'm Director of Criminal Justice Services for Mecklenburg County. In my capacity, I oversee the county's pretrial service organization, our reentry services, our recovery courts, our forensic evaluations unit, and also our research and planning team.
And Sean Heath, Deputy City Manager. Are you guys okay if I stay at the table? I'm a panelist / moderator. It's okay? All right. I know we're a little bit behind, so I think we can do our best to pick up a little bit of time here. Thank you again, Chair Graham, for the introduction. Just to state the obvious, I think it's clear City Council has and continues to really focus on public safety as a strategic priority. And thinking specifically about the Council-adopted 2026 Public Safety Legislative Agenda, looking back over the last 6 months, I think it's extraordinary. City Council, for the first time I'm aware, decided very early in the process to have a dedicated focus on what they wanted their public safety agenda to look like this year. So those conversations started in October. It really gave them a 4 to 5 month time period to have good conversations. I look back at the original conversation in October, and it was a list of two or three things to start. So over the course of 4 to 5 months, they developed what I believe is an incredibly robust and granular public safety legislative agenda. Chair Graham provided some perspective on a few items which we'll pull the thread on a little bit here today. But I think there's great value in being very specific. So as we go across the panel today, we'll get specific on a few things. I did want to quickly zoom out because one key piece of the conversation in the committee was the importance of thinking about the public safety legislative agenda as a partnership, as a collaboration, with a recognition that the city of Charlotte needs to continue to demonstrating that it's pulling its own weight. So as you think about the various things that previous councils and this councils have committed to, I believe there's great evidence that they're walking the talk. Growing investments in first responder operating budgets, clearly a real commitment. Growing investments in community-facing violence intervention and interruption programming has been a real focal point. Growing investments in economic stability at the household level with the recognition that investments in affordable housing and workforce development and mobility really get at a lot of the root causes of public safety concerns, the social determinants of health. So these are areas that on paper may not seem like public safety strategies, but they definitely in the long term make a huge difference. Intentional focus on local ordinance enhancement has been a particular area of focus for the council. And at the committee level and BGIR, starting with Councilmember Ajmira last year and Councilmember Graham this year, advancing a very robust agenda. It's really complementary to a lot of work that happens in a separate safety committee chaired by Dante Anderson, which is focusing on a whole range of opportunities related to ordinance enforcement. And then finally, I would also acknowledge the great work of Police Chief Patterson and her team focused on very strategic and intentional policing practices. To do policing the right way with a community focus, but also establishing accountability across the community. So with that in mind, of the 9 items on the legislative agenda for the city this year, we're just going to cherry pick a few of them. And I'd like to start with CMPD. If you can shed light on a couple that really speak to CMPD and the importance.
Sure, Sean, thank you. So certainly, as an organization, the impact that us, if you think of police as a service provider with the interactions that we have, and think about the community at large and how we have interactions with people that suffer or have either a substance abuse issue or a mental health crisis. And these things are of absolute importance to us as an agency, because not just what we represent here with the city, but think about your own lives and how many people you may know that are impacted by having some type of mental health issue, maybe a family member or someone that you may know, a friend. And those interactions with police become incredibly important. So with that, I'm proud to say, for example, that money that's allocated can help agencies such as ours enhance. A quick example, our crisis intervention team trained officers, which are basically officers that go through a 40-hour training regimen, and then they are really introduced to so many mechanisms involved in dealing with people that are suffering a crisis. Program support for those type things can lead to better outcomes, better interactions, and certainly a safer day for everyone. So certainly programs that would impact, how we respond to persons that are suffering either in crisis or from ongoing disorders. I'm very proud of our CPCRT team that we have. We like to see them grow, obviously and get a little bigger. That is a co-responder model that we have, where we have a licensed clinician responding out with a uniformed officer for safety and, again, for safe outcomes, but also to apply that clinical standard to folks that are suffering or in crisis, and certainly our CARES team. So absolutely, I would agree. And the Department of Chief Patterson really wants to focus some time on letting everyone know that it is absolutely important for us to have funding to actually grow our programs for mental health. Another part that we really want to focus on, and this is obviously a big topic everywhere, is recruitment and retention. Any type of incentive that our officers can have to choose the city of Charlotte to come make it where we work as police officers. Now, I was lucky. I grew up in a home, my brother was a Charlotte cop, so I became a Charlotte cop. Grew up right here in Enderley Park in Charlotte. So I had a little bit of an incentive to be here and live in my city. That's not for everyone, right? So incentives to bring people in, such as incentives related to hiring bonuses, right? And the city's been fantastic with providing, great resources, great benefits. But certainly, Sean, anything I can add to that, and to let you all know that it does make a difference to attract young officers to come into our agency and our line of work. Those funds do provide a great avenue for us to draw people in and also retain them over the course of a career.
Thanks, Deputy Chief. And on the mental health piece, I would just acknowledge that the city is very thankful for the level of investment that the state puts in across the state. We understand there are significant investments in prevention. There are significant investments while individuals are being detained and in reentry as well. But the ask from council is for additional investment. Understanding that connection point between mental health access and public safety is very real. Let me pivot to two others very quickly. One, Councilmember Graham alluded to the additional state funding for the courts, and that would be both magistrates, clerks, and judges, as well as the DA's office and the public defender's office. So the conversation with council here revolved around the importance of community expectations. Our community expects timely justice. Our community expects fair justice. Our community expects accountability. And one of the best ways to deliver on that is for the entire criminal justice system to be adequately resourced. So whereas we're very focused on additional police officers and growing the sworn ranks over time, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So we need more DAs, we need more personnel in the courts, and we need more individuals in the public defender's office, unquestionably. The second item I would mention here, and the last on our list here, is related to magistrates. So we all understand that magistrates play an incredibly important role in the criminal justice system. They're often the first encounter that an individual has with the court system. And given the importance of their work related to conducting initial hearings upon arrest, setting bail for individuals, the ask of council is for the General Assembly to evaluate the entry-level pay, the step pay, and the minimum requirements associated with those roles. So it's my understanding right now the entry-level pay for those positions is about $47,000, and the minimum level professional requirements are an associate's degree with 4 years of work experience. So the ask is just for an evaluation, given the importance of that role. Is that sufficient in order to ensure that adequate skills are in those positions and retained in those positions? I will leave it at that on the city side in the interest of time, and as we round out here in a moment, we'll of course be open to questions. Now I'd like to turn our attention to the county, and as I'm handing off the baton, I would just like to acknowledge the city manager and county manager and kind of the growing opportunities that they're finding for the city and county to collaborate on a whole range of things. There are countless examples of things that we've done together the past few years, and public safety is certainly on that list. So with that in mind, Sonia, if I could ask you to provide some perspective.
So thank you, Sean. I guess, I will sort of, I guess I'll start with the investment in the state agencies. I think Mecklenburg County, the same as the city, has definitely recognized the need to bolster the capacity within our state agencies. And as such, Mecklenburg County, actually through Criminal Justice Services, has made significant investments in both our Public Defender's Office, District Attorney, the Clerk of Court, and also the Trial Court Administrator's Office. Year after year, our capacity continues to grow here locally within our justice system, but the resources just simply have not been there to be able to continue to keep up with that growth. And so, we certainly also advocate for increased positions across all of those agencies. But what we do ask is whenever one office is funded, that the others also be funded. It was a fantastic thing that the district attorney's office received, the additional ADA as well as administrative staff positions. But initially, we don't particularly see that we're going to see the initial outcomes that we were hoping for because the other offices are still understaffed. So, we can have, ADAs, but if we don't have public defenders, if we don't have clerks, if we don't have enough judges, then we can't staff a courtroom. So we're not able to move cases along any more quickly if we're not, really kind of funding in what we kind of refer to as a set. We continue to advocate for, adequately supporting our state partners. I think the other thing I would touch on was with mental health. I certainly think there's significant opportunity to make further investments in mental health, particularly for the justice-involved population. As we've seen mental health reform occur, and we're 20 plus years in now with that here in North Carolina, what we have seen is this erosion of availability of funding for people who are indigent and that are involved in the justice system. And as such, we have a greater number of people touching our system that simply do not have the ability to access care. If you do not qualify for Medicaid or you do not have the means to pay for those services, there are very few places for you to be able to, again, access behavioral health service, and that's both mental health and substance abuse. There was a time, where we had, state funding available to where folks were able to tap into those funds and be able to access care in their communities, and that's no longer the case. And because of that, we have seen, again, a significant number of people touching our system that don't have care, or it is their contact with the criminal justice with the criminal justice system that is initiating their first contact for care. And you shouldn't have to get arrested to be able to receive behavioral health care. And so, when we kind of look at, the system overall, and I would say, again, with Mecklenburg County, we've made significant investments in this space. I think the creation of my department is a prime example of that. But even within CJS, we have a recovery court that is strictly for the mental health population. We have a wellness court. Those folks are, vast majority of them are on active probation. They're being supervised in the community, and they have significant mental health issues. They are referred into our program, and we provide them court-directed services while they're under our supervision. We're able to provide those services because the county makes that investment and allows us to contract with community-based providers to offer that care. Even within our pretrial population, within the department, we have embedded a licensed clinician within our pretrial team to be able to help identify those folks that are being referred to us for release that have significant mental health issues and that are going to need that coordinated care within their community. And it also, comes into play with, when we have folks that are actively under our supervision and they're exhibiting mental health symptoms, it allows us to have that internal resource to be able to address that. Because again, that is something significant. And I always say, over time, within the justice system, you have seen investments in mental health care in every touch point. You see it within policing, Department of Corrections within probation and parole. They have mental health teams, officers that work specifically with those populations. You see mental health services building out in jails. Our jails now are some of our largest mental health facilities in this country. In North Carolina, Mecklenburg County is, our county jail is our largest mental health facility. It should not be that way. But it's just, because of that, the justice system overall, we have sort of become this sort of catch-all for a lot of societal ails, and we have never been designed or resourced for that. But behavioral health is one of those areas in particular where we're being particularly stressed. I would say, Sean, you'd mentioned, the reentry population. That's another place where the county has recognized and made significant investments. Within our reentry unit, within CJS, we work first to convene all of the community-based organizations that work with the reentering population, because the reality of it is 95% of the people that go into custody are coming out and they're returning to our communities. And so, we want safe communities. We want low recidivism rates. And so, we recognize the need to invest in those things. And I think, Sean, to your point, too, there's those investments that we make in public safety that we don't always think are public safety investments. And I think reentry is a prime place where we can, a prime place for that example. And that even within reentry, when we're making investments in things like housing, that's an investment in public safety. When we invest in mental health services, that's an investment in public safety. When we're investing in vocational services and educational services, those are investments in public safety. And that's been one of our big goals within our reentry services unit, is to be able to, help identify what are those things that folks need when they're released. And we're going into the prisons, so we're meeting folks before they're even coming back to Mecklenburg County, but identifying what are those things that they need. And so when they do come home, we're able to connect them and get them those things in place, because we, as justice professionals, we know that first 90 days of release is critical. And so if folks can get jobs and housing and have stability within that first 90 days of release, the chances of them recidivating, decreases significantly.
Thank you very much. So, Sarah, I assume there's time for a few questions, if that's okay, and you can help us track time. Yes, please.
Thank you, and thank you for acknowledging some things that did happen. When you mentioned district attorneys, and when you mentioned some of the things that you did get in regards to state services, and I agree with you, there's a great need for the things that you've mentioned. And as I look at the ask that you have, one of the things that would be extremely helpful is dollar signs be attached to them. Because when we go to Raleigh, or when we start talking in our committees, they're going to say, well, how much will this cost? What are the dollars that's attached to it? That would be extremely helpful.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this information. I just want to follow up on that point in terms of our advocacy and what we can do to help elevate this in the General Assembly and also in the general public. I know I heard from our district attorney when he came to Raleigh to testify that I think there are, 24 positions in his office that are funded by the city and the county. If we have similar numbers of the number of positions or, supplemental salaries or whatever is being added to clerks, magistrates, judges, public defenders, other items like that that are supposed to be borne by the state, then that'll help us put more detail and just make it more visceral for people to understand just how much of a burden that we're putting on the local governments.
So we can certainly provide the numbers of the positions that the county is currently supporting for each of those offices. But I think the other thing to keep in mind is that there is also numbers that are produced by the state, particularly for the attorney positions for both the AOC and IDS. They do have workload formulas, so they are reporting out and identifying what the deficits are. I know for right now, for our clerk of court, I think she's at, by the state's own assessment, she's down roughly about 30 positions, so what she would need just here in Mecklenburg County. But we can certainly pull that together for you.
And if I could ask each person as you stand, if you can announce your name, that'd be helpful for the clerks.
Sure. Mujtaba Mohammed, North Carolina State Senate, District 38. Ms. Harper, first of all, thank you so much for your wonderful comments about investments in education, mental health, and a whole host of those things. Those absolutely full agreement. That is public safety. Deputy Chief, if you could tell me the current vacancy rates at Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department.
So I don't have an exact number for our vacancy right now. We do have 90 recruits that are in our training academy right now. It's spread across 3 classes. I want to say if we don't include the 90 recruits, don't include them, our vacancies should be around 275, give or take a few.
And that's on a total sworn base of 1,900-ish?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
I'm now going to invite up Nisette to introduce her panel. And I will say with the questions that we had where there's follow-up, we'll work together to get you some joint responses so that we can give you the information that's requested. What's that?
Good morning, and thank you all for your patience. We do, of course, respect the time, and we want to be mindful of that, but also continue these critical conversations. I anticipate that we may need 15 to 20 extra minutes, so please bear with us. At this time, I'd like to invite Commissioner Laura Meyer up to give some remarks and do some introductions.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I am Mecklenburg County Commissioner Laura Meyer. I represent District 5 on the Board of Commissioners, and I serve as the chair of Intergovernmental Committee. The committee is responsible for helping coordinate the intergovernmental relations between and among Mecklenburg County and all the governing bodies operating within the county at the federal, state, and local levels. Before I introduce our panel, I just want to editorialize just a minute. Sorry, Lizette. I want to know where the corporate community is. I think they're missing on these panels. I think we need their backing. The state legislature needs to hear from them. They need to support our needs for teacher pay. They need to support our needs for green space. It goes on, and our health. It goes on and on and on. So I just wanted to make that statement, and I hope the Business Alliance will lead the way because we need their leadership. I would like to introduce our panel to discuss our legislative priorities related to health and human services. Yolanda Griffin serves as Director of the Department of Community Resources for Mecklenburg County. Welcome. Dr. Kimberly Scott serves as Interim Director of Public Health for Mecklenburg County. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Melissa Balknight serves as Deputy Superintendent for Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. I now turn it over to Lizette Nimmons, our Intergovernmental Affairs Manager, to offer a brief presentation and moderate the discussion with our panelists.
Thank you again. I'm Lizette Nimmons, Intergovernmental Affairs Manager for Mecklenburg County. I would first like to thank members of our delegation for being here ahead of short session. I know it's a busy time, so thank you. First, I'd like to highlight a few things on our legislative agenda that are not the focus of the discussion for today. So first, I'll say we will continue to support improving housing affordability. We will continue to advocate for recurring funding for early childhood education, support funding and legislation to advance digital inclusion. We will oppose amendments that weaken legislation designed to attract and retain talented workforce. And lastly, but certainly not least, we will continue to advocate for legislation providing for 4-year terms for our Mecklenburg County Commissioners to ensure that we are aligned with the other 99 counties in this state. Today, we will focus this panel discussion on our legislative priorities related to health access, including funding and legislation addressing increased access to health care, specifically related to changes to Medicaid and SNAP, and Medicaid shortfall in the state of North Carolina, as well as the impact of the Parent Bill of Rights on dental, vision, and hearing screenings. So first, with regard to Medicaid and SNAP, our Mecklenburg County staff has been tracking the implications of H.R. 1. This was signed into law on July 4th of 2025 and provides for significant changes to Medicaid and SNAP policies. With regard to Medicaid reimbursement, the current Medicaid shortfall in the state is $319 million. The cuts that are associated with that went into effect October 1st of last year, and these apply to specific procedure codes. Nearly every provider in the state saw reimbursements that they received reduced by 3 to 8%. Lastly, with regard to dental, vision, and hearing screenings, Senate Bill 49, the Parents' Bill of Rights, was ratified in August of 2023. This law requires parents to provide written consent and to opt in prior to their children receiving free and school-based health screenings, including vision, dental, and hearing screenings. So this shifted from an opt-out system to an opt-in system requiring written permission. So before I open the floor for questions, I'd like to first ask a few questions of our panelists, and I will start with Ms. Yolanda Griffin. Can you talk a bit about the county's concerns surrounding the impact of these changes to Medicaid and SNAP?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that question. When we think about H.R. 1, I have to say that this has been just one of the largest sweeping legislations that has come into effect since I've been working in eligibility services. I will tell you, I've been in this field for close to 30 years now. When we think about the impacts, it's more than just the impacts to our work. That's that increased administrative burden for our staff. When we think about Medicaid and Medicaid expansion, having to do recertifications for those individuals twice per year instead of once per year. We think about the food and nutrition services, the additional work requirements that have changed. that will impact more individuals, making them subjected to those work requirements. That requires additional documentation, additional verifications. That administrative burden plays both ways, and the work registration requirements also are going into effect for Medicaid as well, which we've not had before. So that is definitely a huge impact on individuals who are receiving Medicaid expansion. But when we talk about the additional paperwork requirements, the additional verifications, the additional documentation, that doesn't just impact our staff, that impacts our residents. And so when we make it harder for individuals who are eligible for the benefits to understand the policies, to be able to provide those documentations, those can have negative effects where people may lose benefits but are still eligible. And so they will come back in, which then creates administrative churn, which creates additional work and a cycle as well. Additionally, just thinking about folks losing those benefits, the impact on them and their families, that is a huge concern. I'll also go to the changes in funding around, specifically when we think about food and nutrition services, going from counties being responsible for 50% of that administrative cost to now being responsible to 75%. That is a huge impact. And when we look at Mecklenburg County, for the first year, this FY27, that's about $7.5 million. Next year, that will go up to $10 million. And so we think about that, and we think about also some of the other counties. Our counties are committed to ensuring that we're doing work that is accountable, work that is accurate, and we want to do work that is timely to serve our customers. But these types of legislation cause detriment to us as we're trying to achieve those outcomes and those expectations. And then we also talk about the payment error rate changes. So counties and states have never had to pay part of the actual allotments that are issued to individuals for food and nutrition services. That is now changing, and that is going to be dependent on your payment error rate for your state. And so when you implement new policies, there is that risk that staff have to learn these new complicated policies. So there is the risk that errors could increase, which could impact how much you actually have to pay around that payment error rate penalty. So there's just a great number of concerns that we do have around the new implementation of the HR 1 legislation.
Thank you for sharing that. So I'll move on to Dr. Balknight. Thank you for joining us. A similar question, based on what we've shared regarding the Medicaid reimbursement rate and as well as the shortfall in the state, what is the observation from CMS about how this could impact your organization and your population that you're serving, our students?
One of the things that we know, the impact, as we identify students that have access to free lunch, it allows them to have that information. If the data is not as easily accessible, if it's more difficult for families to gain access to those services, then that could impact the children that are able to get a free or reduced lunch during the school day, which is very important to a child being able to be successful throughout the school day and feeling a part of the school community.
Thank you. And Dr. Scott, thank you for joining us today. Can you talk a bit about the decrease in the numbers that we've seen in terms of students receiving dental, vision, and hearing screenings, and exactly what that formula looks like and what that means?
Sure. So thank you for having me. Just to talk a little bit about the Parent Bill of Rights, our local public health department, through our school health program, administers those critical dental and vision screenings in partnership with Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. Since the implementation of the Parent Bill of Rights in 2023, we've seen a drastic decline in both dental and vision screenings within our schools. Starting with statistics for 2022, 2023, the year of implementation, we were at about 71% of our youth being screened for dental screenings, to this current fiscal year of 20% of our students being screened. And that's largely in part due to that opt-in policy that is the shift in policy language. It's critically important also within our vision spaces. We've seen a significant decline there as well. We know that we have partners with nonprofit agencies that not only help support those vision screenings, but provide access to free glasses and repair of eyeglasses for youth in our CMS schools. So it's critically important that we have access to those preventive screenings. A large part of the challenge with the Parental Bill of Rights is the interpretation of treatment as it's defined within the particular bill, which is interpreted quite differently across jurisdictions. So there's certainly an opportunity to explore the current bill and how it's implemented across the state to ensure that youth are gaining access to those important health screenings to help them with ensuring they have access to, again, preventive dental screenings as well as vision.
Thank you. And before I turn it over and open the floor for questions, just as a follow-up, can each of you just share your ask of our members representing us at the General Assembly?
So really, the main thing that we want to ask from you is for your support and your partnership and your advocacy. As we try to implement the H.R. 1 legislation, we are going to face a lot of challenges around that. And counties are not necessarily prepared to be able to do that. We don't have the funding necessary to support the staffing that's required. We don't have the capacity. There's challenges around technology. We need additional technology. We need our technology enhanced, our automation increased. Additionally, we need to have time to be able to prepare to fully implement and be able to implement well. So we are requesting your support in a 3-year delay into the most complicated parts of that H.R. 1 legislation. We want your support in advocating for that. 3 years would give counties time to be able to train staff, to be able to learn the policies, to be able to prepare ourselves to truly be able to implement and implement effectively by being able to manage the increases in the workload. We need to be able to build up to that, right? Additionally, the other thing that we need is your support in ensuring that we have policy that is clear, that is streamlined, policy that speaks to the federal requirements where there's not additional requirements that are added to the policy, so that we can focus on learning that new policy, implementing it effectively, and being ready to truly go through the full implementation process. The other thing that I would say is we really do need support in thinking about a hold harmless period for counties at the state level with the error rates. When we think about that, we also need to be able to partner to determine how are we going to determine what the penalties are for counties. We need an independent review to be able to say, how do we balance counties that may have higher poverty levels, counties such as us, which high workloads. We have approximately 60,000 food nutrition services cases at any given time here in Mecklenburg County, with over approximately 100,000 people receiving benefits in those cases. For our Medicaid, we have over 276,000 cases. That includes over 400,000 participants. And so there are challenges when we look at having to increase for Medicaid the number of reviews that we do for households, having to ensure that we're looking at those work requirements for Medicaid as well as for food and nutrition services. And being prepared and having our staff prepared to do that is something that we really need support in. And other counties as well need that support. So we need that joint collaborative effort to be able to fully implement HR 1 the way that we need and want to be able to do that.
I'm speaking to the Parent Bill of Rights. There's certainly an opportunity to clarify language within that particular bill, centering the opt-in option versus opt-out. We know that currently the policy requires that parents provide a written consent to the schools to ensure that those preventive assessments are provided to youth, which provides additional challenges and bottlenecks for staff as the systems that our school systems might use for collecting consents might not speak to the electronic medical record system that our school health system uses. So it's extremely important that we have opportunities to just streamline and understand the clarity behind language like treatment. Does that include preventive screenings to ensure that there's consistency in how the policy is implemented across jurisdictions? So again, our primary ask would be to focus on that language, considering the opt-in, transitioning to an opt-out model, and looking for opportunities to explore just overall implementation across jurisdictions to make sure there's consistency in how the policy is applied.
And I would like to add, for the Parents' Bill of Rights, we implemented it when it came about. We fully understand what was intended to make sure that we engaged our parents in a different way. We want to be as transparent as possible. We know that we can't do this work without parents, so we understand the purpose of the Parents' Bill of Rights. However, we want to make sure that our students have access to those screenings. Screening is very similar than other things that we do in the school system to make sure that we assess kids so that we can support them academically. But to have this process for the dental and vision screenings is a barrier that we see in the schools, and it prevents a child to get access to glasses and the dental needs and supports. But this is a screening. Then the parent is communicated with from the school and the agency. And the other thing that we have in this area is we have a strong system and historical perspective in this community, and lots of provider support and offer free additional dental work and the glasses and other things. So when you talk about the community support is there, and the community has been very frustrated that they have built systems around this to support our school district, and now they're struggling, as you heard, the low percentages of students that now even complete the process. So we would advocate to change the Parents' Bill of Rights in this area.
Thank you all. So at this time, I'll turn it over to our County Manager, Mike Bryant, for closing remarks.
What about questions?
Oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself. Questions?
First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here and who did this, because I've been wanting to see this even before I was elected, and I think our community did too. I want to thank Lizette Nimmons, because we lean on her heavily, and she is, I don't know if you know this pop culture reference, but she's our Olivia Pope. She gets it handled, it's handled. My question is this. You know, the right is solidified in their messaging, leading to propaganda usually. So how can all legislative bodies that are represented in this room get on the same page in messaging to educate our voters? How can we all consolidate all of our asks? All of these asks are wonderful, but I want the public to understand. So we need an education campaign. How can we all get on the same page to do that? Thank you.
I can respond just, based on my role as Government Affairs Manager for the county and working with my counterparts with the city and CMS. This is a first start. This is how we start. We have done a lot of work behind the scenes to pull this together, which involved conversations around our legislative agendas and where we found overlap. And I think for this to be the first, we did an excellent job of pulling this together and identifying the issues. But this is where we begin. Yes. I'll go with Senator Mohammed first, and then I'll go to Commissioner Altman in the back.
Thank you so much. Question for you on Ms. Griffin about the SNAP benefits. Can you speak to a little bit about the current processing times and now the operational strain with the passage of the big beautiful bill, with the cuts to the administrative support from the federal government? What are those processing times going to probably look like related to SNAP benefits and renewals?
Yes, absolutely. So what I will say for us specifically here in Mecklenburg County, we have done some estimates to help us determine what staffing needs to look like to help support some of these changes. And when you say processing, so generally we have 7 days to issue benefits if someone qualifies for those emergency services, which you meet certain criteria to qualify for that, or you have 30 days to process what's considered normal applications. Those things are impacted by your income, your household expenses, and those types of things determine which one you qualify for. So for us right now, we are currently processing, the standard is 95% timeliness. With us right now, we are at, as of March, we were at 94 and some change percent timeliness for our normals. We were at about 92 for our emergency services. I will tell you that has been something that we've grown up to. So if you can think that it's challenging to do it under normal circumstances, as these policies change and become more complex, then that can impact and create delays in us getting those benefits to our residents. We estimated as just physically processing that it's going to take us about 22% longer to process a case, as in physically processing a case, a worker processing a case, because of these new changes that are occurring. And so, yeah, there definitely is concern around how that's going to impact our delivery and how it's going to impact the residents who are receiving those benefits.
Thank you. Commissioner Altman.
Thank you. Ooh, sorry, I'll be very brief, but I do just want to put this out there. For the people who are here for public safety, it also involves health and human services for our amazing public servants in the General Assembly. On February 13th, the Charlotte Observer had an article about possible changes to North Carolina mental health law, and there was a hearing at the House Committee on Involuntary Commitment in Public Safety that identified what we all know, dangerous gaps that can lead to untreated mental illness and increased public safety risks. And the article said that Representative Reeder said he planned to have a report and a draft legislation ready by mid-April, which is now. And then Dustin Hall said that he was creating the committee to strengthen North Carolina's mental health and involuntary commitment systems while supporting law enforcement roles in protecting community. So because we're sort of now in the future, I would love to just urge our representatives in the General Assembly, this sounds like this may be a point of agreement. This could be an opportunity for, we all recognize we can't be safe when we have dangerous gaps in our mental health system. And, we don't have the tools around involuntary commitment. So I just really did want to ask for an update later on, because I know we're out of time, but urge maybe collaboration around that. And to speak for some of my wonderful colleagues, I was asked to say, we all can be united on the same page, but we need support from the business community as well. And we saw that with transit. We got great things done, but we couldn't have done it without the business community also leaning in and helping to move the needle. So we need them here too. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just add to that, that Select Committee on Involuntary Commitment in Public Safety was or may still be meeting today, and we'll have a report on the outcome of that later. Yes, Senator Waddell.
I echo as well. This has been wonderful. It's so great to have all of these bodies represented today and the information. Concerning what you talked about as a panel, you mentioned that the federal government does play some role in some of the services when it comes to nutrition. How do you separate those, include those with what your ask is for the General Assembly.
Oh, do you want me to? Yes, go ahead.
So specifically for me, for the ask, we need your advocacy around the federal legislation. So when we talk about SNAP, the policy and legislation is determined at that federal level. There are some modifications, some small things that states may have control of, but what we would like is a state-led advocacy effort to try to help delay the implementation of those most stringent HR 1 legislation components. And so we're asking for that support around that as well. But the federal policy, when we think about food and nutrition services, it comes from the federal government establishing that.
Thank you. Senator Salvador.
Yes, thank you all for having us here today. As a follow-up to your conversation on HR 1, I'm deeply concerned, and I'm not a healthcare professional or have that background, but just of the impact that this will have, and certainly want to work with you because it sounds like what you're saying with the error rate is, one, that the policy is imposing additional burdens to already limited staff, but additionally is shifting costs to the county and the state. And you think about the context that we're in right now with the debate between, House and Senate, Pro Tem and Speaker, and the potential fiscal shortfalls, and then to compound that with those costs to provide critical services now being paid for by the state because of things imposed federally. It just sounds to me that we're already building upon what is already a troubling time. And so to whatever effect there are with your forecast, you mentioned a few numbers, but I've seen some reports say nationally as much as like $35 billion will be passed from federal to states. It would be really helpful to see what that potential impact will be at the county level, at the state level, so we can just be working together to make sure people are continuing to have access to this, really important health and human services work that you're doing.
Thank you. So we, just as a reminder, the folders you have in front of you, you have a policy brief for each of these topics that we've discussed today that summarizes what our panel has presented. That's for you to take with you. You also have copies of the legislative agendas for each of us. That's the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools agenda, as well as the city's agenda and the county's agenda. As always, there's staff contacts there as well. You can follow up with us with questions, and I'll turn it over to County Manager Bryant for his closing remarks.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wow, this was amazing. Wasn't this an incredible forum?
Yes.
I'm going to ask that you join me in applauding and recognizing all of the panelists that served this morning, providing information to you relative to 3 important topics. Let's give them a round of applause. I also want to thank our elected officials for what you do and what you are about to do beginning tomorrow. It's no pressure. We're not able to accomplish any of this without leadership. And that's what you all provide to us, is leadership. It starts there. And I want to thank all of you as our elected officials for your leadership. And yeah, I am going to be a little biased and thank my commission for their leadership, in particular, my chair. We are so fortunate in this community to have Mark Jarrell serve as chair of the County Commission. whether it is West Charlotte, Ballantyne, North Charlotte, Davidson, Cornelius. He wants every resident, regardless of their makeup and background, to have the same quality of life in this community. And I appreciate your leadership, sir. Now, I'm going to ask that our superintendent, Dr. Hill, and our city manager, Marcus Jones, join me at the podium. And listen, this isn't a photo op. It's important that you, as well as those watching, the entire community, see the administrators. We are your professional administrators, tasked with operationalizing the vision that you have for this community. It's really important, and we don't take that for granted. There's 100 counties in this state. There's even more cities and towns, as well as school districts. We'll tell you, you don't see this. You don't see this in our profession. It's the reason why I spent 20 years, Madam Chair. So, yeah, you'll see maybe 2 of the entities come together, but not 3. And I can assure you, we will not allow another 20 years to pass before we come back and convene again. And not only are we tasked with operationalizing your vision, but this is the team here that is tasked with identifying strategies and solutions to maneuver during this period of uncertainty. That is a huge effort, and you should find comfort knowing that we recognize we cannot do this in our own individual lanes. We recognize, and we coined this term called Better Together. And I hope you all accept that as well, that together, council, commission, Board of Ed, all of us are better together as well. From an administrative lens, it is always encouraging to have our elected leaders and program directors in one room like today as we continue our work to improve the quality of life for our county residents, for all county residents. As it was shared on numerous occasions this morning, we have tough decisions ahead, and our legislative efforts will be critical to our quality of life, work, and priorities. There is no doubt the lack of certainty, there's that word again, certainty, uncertainty, certainty, when it comes to state and federal funding will impact how we budget locally. As we move forward together, I encourage us to continue to be clear-eyed, disciplined, and realistic in our expectations. The work we conducted together today serves as a true testament to the power of cross-sector collaboration. As our elected leaders and legislative teams continue to forge ahead, we will continue to increase collaboration with our community partners as well, because they too have a role to play. Manager Jones, Dr. Hill, and I continue to engage our business and nonprofit leaders collectively in support of our quality of life indicators, many of which we've touched on this morning. And Commissioner Myers is absolutely correct in her editorial to challenge where's the business sector. I just wanted to let you all know that they are on board with us as well. Robert McCutcheon, Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, was invited here today to join us, and he did text me right before saying he could not join us because he's under the weather. But they are a partner, along with all of you, to help get the word out in terms of the impact. Through our Quality of Life Collaborative, this is a group of local leaders, cross sectors, the philanthropic, the nonprofit, city, the county, school of ed, 40 of us come together to talk about Charlotte-Mecklenburg County being an international destination and focusing on improving the quality of life. We have our next meeting on Wednesday, and we're really excited about what is going to come out of that for the benefit of this community. And I assure you that today's work will also inform our ongoing efforts as a collaborative. Once again, I would like to thank you all for your contributions and commitment to this work. Before I turn it over to Dr. Hill for her closing remarks, I'd be remiss, and although my chair recognized my team, I also want to recognize my team. And they've heard me say it over and over and over again. And they know what I'm going to say this time. I want to ask them to stand and be recognized because I have the most talented workforce in the nation, and I'm so proud of them. So please recognize them and stand as well. I especially want to give a shout out to Lisette Nimmons, who has worked tirelessly behind the scenes to pull this off, and your work has not gone unnoticed, and I hope you're pleased with the outcome. Dr. Hill.
Thank you so much, Mike, and good afternoon, everyone. Certainly want to thank Board Member London for your incredible leadership in the development and your work with intergovernmental relations. Will you please stand to be recognized? Also, of course, would like to recognize leadership is so important. Our board chair, Stephanie Sneed, please stand to be recognized. Thank you so much. And of course, all of our board members who are here today, will you please stand to be recognized? Thank you so much for your leadership. I also want to thank Charles Jeter, who is a gem when it comes to the legislative arena. Thank you so much for your work, Charles. And I'll just have to say I argue with Mike about the best team. Sorry. The team, CMS team, please stand to be recognized. Thank you so much for your incredible work. I'd like to say a very special thank you to the Mecklenburg County delegation. Your presence, willingness to listen, engage, and partner with us in this work truly matters. As we close today, I want to return a simple but powerful idea that has guided our conversation: better together. We may represent different systems, county, city, education, and state government, but the people we serve do not see those lines. They experience Mecklenburg County as one community. They expect us to lead that way. At Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, our legislative priorities are rooted in that belief that we're not just all about schools. We are about workforce, we are about opportunity, and we are about the long-term economic strength and mobility of our region. When we advocate for competitive pay and retention for educators, we're investing in the people who prepare our children, who are our future workforce. When we ask for sustainable funding and flexibility, we're making sure schools can respond to the real needs of students and local employers. And when we stay focused on literacy, math, career pathways, safe learning environments, and innovation, we are building a pipeline of talent that is ready to contribute right here in Charlotte and in Mecklenburg County. As a reminder, economic development does not start with a ribbon cutting or a job announcement. It starts years earlier in a classroom, in partnership and preparing students who are ready for what comes next. What makes today meaningful is not just that it's a first in 20 years of a kind gathering or for the people in the room. Today is meaningful because it confirms and affirms what is possible when we choose alignment. When the county commissioners, city council, board of education, and state legislators work in partnership, we send a clear message. Together, our leadership paves the way for endless possibilities for the people of Mecklenburg County. So let's keep building relationships that move this work forward. Let's stay focused on what connects us, and let's continue doing this work with intention, with urgency, and together. Because when we align around one shared goal, the success of Mecklenburg County and the students who will define its future, We don't just move forward, we move better together. And that's the only way forward that truly works. Thank you.
I don't even know if I can see over that thing. Okay. So MB, you made the big mistake of letting me close. Okay? So I'm going to start off by asking all of Team Charlotte to stand, the best team in the nation. And I think it's everybody in the room. Okay? All right? All right? There you go. All right. To the delegation, you are incredible. You have allowed us to, you welcome us with open arms. Whenever there's an issue, you have a receptive ear. And I think one of the most incredible things we've done is the PAVE Act. And we did it together. So we appreciate that. All the elected officials, this is great for us to be in a room. This won't be one and done. And it's for all of our intergovernmental relations managers, thank you so much for pulling this together. If you come to my office, you'll see a bunch of pictures on the windowsill for my family over the years and some, really incredible people. There's also a picture of the three of us better together. And we all have it. I think you guys have it in your offices too. But let me tell you what that really means, right? It's not just a slogan. I call him MB. Mike was great when he got sworn in. And what he did was he challenged me to be more collaborative with him and with Dr. Hill, and we've been able to do it. But it's not just today. It's workforce development. It's public safety. It's housing. It's youth. It's economic development. And we're all doing it together. So for all the elected folks, I believe you should feel really, really good about the appointed leadership you have, because we're better together. Thanks.
Thank you.
Officials and panelists, if we could have you up here for a group photo real quick.
And we have parking validation stickers if you need that.
I told you.